Good morning, good people. Now listen, before I get started, let me tell y'all something. Life is going to hit you hard. Ain't no escaping that. But if you get these 3 lessons down, you're going to stand up every time, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward like a winner. So let's get into it. Lesson 1, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Look here, y'all. If you're always waiting for the right time to chase your dreams, you're going to be waiting forever. There ain't no perfect moment. Success don't come wrapped in a pretty little bow. It's messy, it's scary, and it's uncomfortable. But guess what? Every successful person you admire had to take a leap of faith. They weren't ready either, but they jumped. You got to learn to be okay with fear, because on the other side of fear, that's where your blessings are. Lesson number 2, stop explaining yourself to people who don't pay your bills. Let me tell you something. You cannot live your life trying to please folks who ain't got nothing to do with your destiny. Some of y'all are out here wasting time worrying about what other people think. Listen, if they're not signing your paycheck, putting food on your table, or contributing to your dreams, why do they have so much control over your life? Do what you're called to do. Move in silence if you have to. Let your success be the loudest thing in the room. Lesson 3, God's plan is bigger than your problems. Now, I don't know what you believe in, but I do know this. Life is going to test you. It's going to throw storms your way that make you want to give up. But let me tell you something. When you think you've lost everything, when you're at your lowest, that's when the greatest comeback is being set up. See, every setback you've ever had is a setup for something bigger. You just got to trust the process. Stop focusing on the storm and start focusing on the lesson. Because one day you're going to look back and realize that storm made you who you are. Final word, so to all my young kings and queens out here, take the risk. Stop seeking approval. Trust the process. If you do those 3 things, I promise you, your future is going to be brighter than you ever imagined. Now get out there and be great. Thank you. Life begins where your comfort zone ends. Too many people are waiting for the right time, the right circumstances, or the perfect opportunity before they make a move. The problem is, life doesn't wait. Growth doesn't happen in safe spaces. If you want success, happiness, or anything meaningful, you have to be willing to feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is a sign that you're stepping into something bigger than yourself. It's stretching you, molding you, and preparing you for the greatness you're meant to achieve. Think about every major breakthrough in history. Nobody accomplished anything great by playing it safe. The people who changed the world, who made an impact, who built something remarkable, they all had to go through discomfort. They had to deal with fear, doubt, and uncertainty, but they kept pushing. That's the difference between those who stay average and those who rise above. The ones who rise understand that discomfort isn't a sign to stop, it's a sign to keep going. When you start something new, you're going to feel awkward. You're going to feel like you don't belong. Your mind will try to convince you that you're not good enough, not ready, or that you should turn back. That's natural. That's fear trying to protect you from failure. But failure is a part of the process. Nobody gets it right the first time. You have to be okay with looking foolish, with making mistakes, with feeling lost. That's how learning happens. That's how progress is made. Every time you push past that initial discomfort, you grow. It might not feel like it in the moment, but every uncomfortable situation teaches you something. Maybe it's resilience. Maybe it's problem solving. Maybe it's just learning how to keep going even when things aren't perfect. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. What once seemed impossible eventually becomes second nature. But you can't get there if you run from discomfort every time it shows up. Successful people don't have superpowers. They don't have some magical ability that makes them fearless. What they have is a different mindset. They have trained themselves to embrace the hard moments instead of running from them. They understand that struggle is part of the journey, not a reason to quit. If you look at athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, anyone at the top of their game, you'll see that they didn't start off as experts. They went through a phase where they had no idea what they were doing. The difference is they stuck with it. They pushed through the discomfort until it became their new normal. Too many people quit when things get tough. They think, maybe this isn't for me, or I'm just not good at this. But that's not the truth. The truth is, anything worth having requires effort, sacrifice, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. If you give up every time things get hard, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. You'll always be stuck wondering what could have been. Regret is a heavy burden to carry, and most of the time it comes from choosing comfort over growth. Look at the moments in your life when you've grown the most. Chances are those moments weren't easy. Maybe it was starting a new job, moving to a new city, or taking on a challenge you weren't sure you could handle. In the beginning, it felt uncomfortable, but over time, you adapted. You became stronger, more confident, more capable. That's the pattern of life. Discomfort leads to growth, and growth leads to success. If you want something greater, you have to be willing to endure the process. Fear is a liar. It tells you that stepping out of your comfort zone will lead to failure. It tells you that staying safe is the best option. But the truth is, staying comfortable is the biggest risk you can take. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die. They keep you stagnant, stuck in the same routine, living the same year over and over again. If you want to break free, you have to be willing to feel uncomfortable. You have to lean into the fear and do it anyway. The first time you try anything new, it's going to feel awkward. Your brain is wired to resist change because change feels like danger. But the more you expose yourself to new situations, the more your brain adapts. Over time, what once seemed terrifying becomes just another part of your life. That's why people who take risks often keep taking bigger ones. They've trained themselves to see discomfort as an opportunity rather than a threat. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is because they avoid things that make them uncomfortable. They don't apply for the job because they're afraid of rejection. They don't speak up because they're afraid of what others will think. They don't pursue their passion because they're afraid of failing. But here's the thing, if you avoid discomfort, you also avoid growth. You stay exactly where you are while other people who are willing to embrace the struggle move forward. Think about the moments in your life when you were forced to adapt. Maybe you lost a job, went through a breakup, or faced a challenge you didn't expect. At the time, it felt overwhelming, but looking back, you can see that those moments shaped you. They made you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future. Discomfort is a teacher, and the more you learn from it, the more powerful you become. The problem is most people don't see discomfort that way. They see it as a sign that something is wrong. But what if you flip the script? What if, instead of avoiding from discomfort, you leaned into it? What if, instead of avoiding things that scare you, you embraced them? That's where transformation happens. That's where you start unlocking levels of yourself you didn't even know existed. People often think that confidence comes first, but that's not true. Confidence comes from action. You don't wake up one day suddenly feeling fearless. You build confidence by taking action even when you're scared. The more you do something, the more comfortable you become with it. That's why successful people seem so confident. They've pushed through their fears so many times that it no longer holds them back. If you want to achieve anything great, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. That means putting yourself in situations that challenge you, that stretch you, that make you question whether you can do it. That's how you grow. That's how you build resilience. That's how you become the person you were meant to be. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort, but the truth is the more you embrace it, the more unstoppable you become. The people who make it in life aren't the ones who have it easy. They're the ones who push through the hard times, who refuse to let fear dictate their choices, who step into the unknown even when it scares them. Everything you want is on the other side of discomfort. The life you dream of, the goals you want to achieve, the person. Too many people waste their time trying to explain themselves to people who don't matter. They spend their energy justifying their dreams, defending their choices, and seeking approval from people who wouldn't lift a finger to help them. The truth is, you cannot live your life for other people. You can't shape your decisions based on what others think, especially when they have no stake in your success. The moment you start prioritizing opinions over your own vision, you hand over control of your life to people who don't even have your best interests at heart. There will always be people who don't understand your path. Some will doubt you, some will criticize you, some will straight up tell you that you're wasting your time. That's just part of the process. What you have to understand is that their opinions are not your problem. Their doubts don't define you. Their lack of belief in you has nothing to do with your potential. If you spend your life trying to make everybody else happy, you will never have time to build the life you truly want. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they owe everyone an explanation. You don't. You don't have to justify why you're chasing your dreams. You don't have to prove to anyone why you're making certain moves. If they don't see the vision, that's on them. Some people are so limited in their thinking that they can't even imagine the kind of life you're working to create. They'll project their fears onto you because they don't have the courage to step out and do what you're doing. But just because they can't see it doesn't mean you're wrong. People who have never built anything of their own will always have the most to say about what you're building. They will try to talk you out of your vision because they don't understand it. And that's fine. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them assume you're making a mistake. Because when it's all said and done, the only thing that matters is what you choose to do with your life. The people who once doubted you will be the same ones asking how you did it. The ones who thought you were crazy will be the same ones calling you lucky. The sooner you stop explaining yourself, the sooner you free yourself. You don't have to convince people to believe in you. You don't have to beg people to understand. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just move in silence and let your results do the talking. Because when you spend all your energy explaining yourself, you take energy away from actually doing the work. You get caught up in conversations that don't serve you. You waste time trying to win over people who were never meant to support you in the first place. People are going to talk no matter what you do. If you play it safe, they'll talk. If you take risks, they'll talk. If you fail, they'll talk. If you succeed, they'll talk even more. So why spend time worrying about it? You will never be able to control other people's opinions, but you can control how much you let those opinions affect you. If you let every negative comment shake you, you'll never get anywhere. If you let people's doubt make you doubt yourself, you'll never take action. A lot of people never reach their full potential because they're too busy seeking validation. They want their family to approve. They want their friends to co-sign. They want society to give them a stamp of approval before they move forward. But that's not how success works. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need everyone to agree with your decisions. Sometimes you just have to trust yourself even when no one else does. The most successful people in the world have one thing in common. They didn't let other people's opinions stop them. They didn't wait for everyone to understand their vision. They just did it. They pushed forward even when people laughed at them, even when people doubted them, even when they were told they would fail, because they knew that success isn't about pleasing others. It's about staying true to your purpose. Some of the people closest to you will be the first ones to doubt you, not because they don't love you, but because they see you through the lens of your past. They remember who you used to be. They remember the mistakes you've made, and in their minds, they can't see you step into a higher version of yourself. But that's not your problem. You don't have to stay the person they think you are. You don't have to limit yourself just because they can't imagine you doing more. When you start leveling up, you're going to outgrow some people. Not everyone is meant to go with you on your journey. Some people are comfortable where they are and they don't like seeing you rise because it forces them to look at their own lives. It makes them question whether they've been playing small. Instead of being inspired, they get defensive. Instead of supporting you, they try to hold you back. That's why you have to be careful who you share your dreams with. Not everyone is rooting for you. Not everyone wants to see you win. There will be times when you have to walk alone, when you have to make decisions that nobody else understands, when you have to trust yourself even when you feel uncertain. That's the price of chasing something bigger than average. That's the cost of stepping into greatness. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The people who truly belong in your life will support you. They may not always understand your vision, but they'll respect it. They'll cheer for you even if they don't see the full picture yet. But the people who constantly doubt you, question you, or try to talk you out of your dreams, let them go. Stop wasting time trying to prove yourself to people who don't even believe in themselves. Stop shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. Stop explaining your every move to people who wouldn't do the same for you. Most of the people who doubt you aren't even thinking about you that much. They say what they say and then go on with their lives. Meanwhile, you're sitting there replaying their words in your head, letting them stop you from moving forward. Let that go. Focus on your own path. Keep building, keep grinding, keep growing, because at the end of the day, the only person who has to live with your decisions is you. Your purpose is yours. Your vision is yours. Your life is yours. Stop explaining it to people who will never understand. Stop justifying your dreams to people who don't even dream themselves. Let your success speak for you. Let your actions do the talking. Because when you finally reach the level you've been working toward, the same people who doubted you will be the ones trying to figure out how you did it. Some of the people closest to you will be the first ones to doubt you. Not because they don't love you, but because they see you through the lens of your past. They remember who you used to be. They remember the mistakes you've made. And in their minds, they can't see you stepping into a higher version of yourself. But that's not your problem. You don't have to stay the person they think you are. You don't have to limit yourself just because they can't imagine you doing more. When you start leveling up, you're going to outgrow some people. Not everyone is meant to go with you on your journey. Some people are comfortable where they are, and they don't like seeing you rise because it forces them to look at their own lives. It makes them question whether they've been playing small. Instead of being inspired, they get defensive. Instead of supporting you, they try to hold you back. That's why you have to be careful who you share your dreams with. Not everyone is rooting for you. Not everyone wants to see you win. There will be times when you have to walk alone, when you have to make decisions that nobody else understands, when you have to trust yourself even when you feel uncertain. That's the price of chasing something bigger than average. That's the cost of stepping into greatness. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The people who truly belong in your life will support you. They may not always understand your vision, but they'll respect it. They'll cheer for you even if they don't see the full picture yet. But the people who constantly doubt you, question you, or try to talk you out of your dreams, let them go. Stop wasting time trying to prove yourself to people who don't even believe in themselves. Stop shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. Stop explaining your every move to people who wouldn't do the same for you. Most of the people who doubt you aren't even thinking about you that much. They say what they say and then go on with their lives. Meanwhile, you're sitting there replaying their words in your head, letting them stop you from moving forward. Let that go. focus on your own path. Keep building, keep grinding, keep growing, because at the end of the day, the only person who has to live with your decisions is you. Your purpose is yours, your vision is yours, your life is yours. Stop explaining it to people who will never understand. Stop justifying your dreams to people who don't even dream themselves. Let your success speak for you. Let your actions do the talking. Because when you finally reach the level you've been working toward, the same people who doubted you will be the ones trying to figure out how you did it.